Mia was a bright and spirited girl, full of dreams and laughter. With her curly hair bouncing as she walked, she was always seen with a smile on her face. In class, she loved to answer questions and share stories with her friends. Mia was known for her kindness and bravery. She would stick up for anyone being picked on, never backing down from what she believed was right. However, school wasn't always a happy place for Mia. Some kids saw her confidence as a chance to tease her. They whispered things behind her back and laughed when she stumbled during gym class, which made her feel small. But Mia didn't let their words define who she was, at least not until that fateful day. One sunny afternoon at recess, while other kids played tag and jumped rope, Mia found herself feeling a little off. She had just finished drawing a picture of her favorite animal, a dolphin, and wanted to show it to her friends. As she stepped away from the wall where she'd been sitting, eager to find someone to share her artwork with, a group of boys kicked a soccer ball too hard. It bounced off the nearby wall and hit Mia right in the leg. Instead of apologizing, they laughed. "Look at Mia! She's such a loser!" one boy shouted. The rest joined in, snickering and shoving each other playfully, as if their remarks were just jokes. Suddenly feeling overwhelmed, Mia tried to walk away but stumbled. In that moment of vulnerability, one of the bullies pushed her down hard onto the gravel ground. Tears welled up in Mia's eyes as she felt the sting of both the fall and their words. They had punched her when she was down, both physically and emotionally. For a moment, despair washed over her like rain on a sunny day. Yet deep inside, something stirred. It was an ember of determination waiting to ignite. Despite the pain in her heart and leg, something inside her flickered, a spark that whispered that this wasn't how the story had to end. She took a deep breath and made up her mind. She would rise again, stronger than ever before. Recess was usually a time of laughter and fun, but on this particular day, the sun seemed to shine a little too bright for Mia. After finishing her drawing of a dolphin, she wanted to show it to her friends. As she carefully walked towards them, smiling and excited, she felt a sudden chill in the air, the kind that hinted something wasn't right. A group of boys was kicking a soccer ball nearby, laughing loudly as they played. Mia tried to pass by without drawing attention, but their shouts grew louder. "Look at her! What is she doing? Does she think she's an artist or something?" One boy jeered, his tone dripping with mockery. The others joined in with cruel laughter. Mia's excitement faded, replaced by a knot of unease in her stomach. She took a breath and kept walking, hoping to reach her friends before the taunts got worse. But just as she thought she was past them, someone kicked the soccer ball too hard. It ricocheted off the ground and struck her leg with unexpected force. "Ow!" Mia exclaimed, stumbling backward from the impact. Instead of an apology or concern, she heard more laughter ringing in her ears. "What a clumsy girl," another voice echoed mockingly. The words pierced through her like arrows. Feeling embarrassed and hurt, Mia attempted to walk away quickly, but her body betrayed her as she lost her balance. Like vultures sensing weakness, the bullies seized this opportunity. One of them pushed her down hard onto the rough gravel ground, causing sharp stones to dig into her skin. All laughter faded into a haunting silence as Mia landed flat on her back. Tears welled up in her eyes not only from the pain of the fall, but also from the weight of their insults pressing down on her heart. In that moment, everything felt heavy, her spirit crushed beneath their cruel words. With humiliation threatening to consume her, Mia lay there for what felt like an eternity. But just when despair threatened to bubble over completely, something deep inside stirred. A faint whisper urging her not to give up. She blinked through tears and took a shaky breath. This moment wouldn't be the end. Rather, it would be the stepping stone toward something greater. A chance to find her strength and fight back against those who had knocked her down. Mia lay on the gravel, the sharp stones digging into her skin as her heart filled with a mix of emotions. Tears streamed down her face, not just from the physical pain, but from a deep-seated hurt that seemed to wrap around her like heavy chains. She felt an ache in her chest as the laughter of the boys echoed in her mind, cruel and mocking. It was as if their words had seeped into her very soul, turning what was once a vibrant day into a dark and lonely moment. As she tried to push herself up, grief washed over her, mingling with anger. Why did they have to treat me this way? She thought bitterly. The unfairness of the situation pressed heavily on her. Mia had always been kind and brave. She stood up for others and believed in being true to herself. It didn't make sense that now she was being punished for simply wanting to share something she loved. A rising storm brewed within her, a mix of fury and sadness. How could they take joy in making someone else feel so awful? She had seen bullies before, but experiencing it firsthand felt different, sharper. It hurt more when their words loomed over her like a dark cloud that refused to pass. As she sat there on the ground, Mia felt utterly alone. Her heart longed for the comfort of friends who would rush to her side and lift her up, who would see beyond the teasing and recognize her true worth. But in that moment of despair, it felt as though she was surrounded by a vast emptiness where laughter should be. With every deep breath, Mia battled against that sinking feeling. Memories of happy days flooded back, painting vibrant pictures with friends, laughing during recess and feeling proud of who she was. She clung to those moments desperately, hoping they would remind her of her strength. But as she blinked away tears, something shifted inside. A whisper of defiance began to replace the sadness. Despite the heartbreak she felt right now, Mia realized this wasn't the end of her story. It was just a chapter filled with challenges that would lead her toward greater bravery. She would not let them tear down who she was meant to be. She would find a way to rise above their cruelty. As Mia sat on the rough ground, the weight of her emotions began to shift. The tears that had blurred her vision started to clear, revealing the world around her once more. She remembered the warmth of the sun and the sound of laughter from other kids playing in the distance. But more importantly, a familiar voice echoed in her mind, the soothing words of her mother. "Always stand up for yourself, Mia," her mother would say, her tone strong yet loving. "You are brave and capable of so much more than you think. Don't let anyone take your power away." Those words had always inspired Mia, and now they rose up within her like a beacon of hope. With each breath, she recalled times when she faced challenges and emerged stronger on the other side. There was the time she had learned to ride a bike after many falls, and how she felt when she finally balanced perfectly on two wheels. Or when she had tried out for the school play despite her fear of performing in front of others, only to receive applause from her classmates. Those moments were proof that she could overcome obstacles, and being pushed down by bullies would not define her. Mia wiped her tears with the back of her hand and took a deep breath. She refused to let this incident dictate who she was or how she felt about herself. The anger inside her transformed into a fire, a strong determination to rise above the hurt. She visualized herself standing tall and unyielding, not just in front of those boys, but also for every time she had been underestimated. I will not be defeated, Mia whispered to herself, feeling empowered by her own words. The idea of standing up for herself filled her with a new sense of purpose. This was not just about getting back at them. It was about reclaiming her strength and showing everyone, including herself, that she was worth more than their petty taunts. With renewed resolve, Mia pushed herself off the ground, brushing off gravel from her clothes as if shedding doubt and fear along with it. She straightened her back and took a moment to gather her thoughts. The next time she encountered those bullies, she wouldn't just stand there feeling small, she would confront them with confidence. This would be a pivotal moment in her journey, one that could lead to even greater bravery as she embraced who she truly was inside. With her newfound determination, Mia realized that she couldn't face the bullies alone. She needed support to navigate through this challenging time. The next day at school, she walked into her classroom, her heart pounding in her chest. Her mind raced with thoughts of what had happened, and she knew it was time to share her feelings with someone she trusted. As she approached her teacher, Ms. Johnson, who always had a kind smile and a listening ear, Mia felt a mix of fear and relief. Ms. Johnson noticed the look on Mia's face and gently asked, "Are you okay, Mia? You seem a bit troubled today." Taking a deep breath, Mia decided to open up. "Ms. Johnson," she began, her voice shaky but growing stronger as she spoke, "I need to talk to you about something that happened during recess." She explained everything, the teasing from the boys, how they pushed her down, and the hurtful words they said. As she shared her story, tears threatened to spill from her eyes once more, but she held them back, wanting to show her strength. Ms. Johnson listened attentively, nodding in understanding. When Mia finished, her teacher leaned closer and said softly, "Thank you for sharing this with me, Mia. It takes a lot of courage to speak up about bullying." Her voice was comforting and sincere, wrapping around Mia like a warm embrace. Mia felt a weight lifting off her shoulders. Ms. Johnson continued, "You are not alone in this. We can work together to make sure this doesn't happen again." The reassurance in Ms. Johnson's words ignited another spark of hope within Mia. She realized that asking for help was not a sign of weakness. Rather, it was a brave step toward overcoming her challenges. After their conversation, Ms. Johnson promised to address the issue with the students involved and keep an eye on Mia during recess. Mia felt grateful knowing there was someone looking out for her. With renewed confidence, she left the classroom that day feeling lighter and more empowered. Knowing she had a trusted ally made all the difference. Mia understood that seeking help was vital in tough times, and that support from friends and teachers could give her the strength to stand tall against any challenge ahead. She would not only face the bullies, but also help others who might feel just as small as she once did. With a new sense of purpose, Mia knew that the next step in her journey was to prepare herself physically and emotionally to stand up for herself. She decided to join a local self-defense class after talking to Ms. Johnson about it. That afternoon, as she walked to the community center, she felt a mix of excitement and nervousness fluttering in her stomach. This was a big step, but she wanted to prove to herself that she could be strong. On the first day of class, Mia entered the room and was greeted by Coach Ramirez, who had a warm smile that immediately put her at ease. The other students were stretching and chatting, and Mia felt her anxiety fade slightly as she realized she wasn't alone in wanting to learn new skills. The first lesson began with basics, movements, positioning her feet, finding her balance, and learning defensive stances. As Mia practiced the techniques, she felt empowered with each movement. Coach Ramirez encouraged everyone, emphasizing the importance of believing in themselves. Training is not just about physical strength. It's about building confidence, he said. And those words resonated deeply with Mia. Every session pushed her further outside her comfort zone. She learned how to block incoming strikes and regain her footing when knocked down. Each time she completed another drill or sparred lightly with classmates, Mia felt a sense of accomplishment blooming within her. Gradually, she noticed changes, not just in her skills, but also in how she carried herself. She stood taller than before, as if the lessons were filling her with inner strength. Outside of class, Mia began practicing what she had learned, shadowing moves in her room or asking friends to help her refine her techniques during lunchtime at school. She even started running during evenings to build stamina, picturing herself on the playground confronting the boys who had bullied her. With every drop of sweat and every practice session, Mia transformed her fear into determination. As she prepared for the moment when she would face those bullies again, each repetition helped erase the feeling of vulnerability from that day on the gravel. She was no longer just a victim. She was becoming a fighter. Mia realized that this journey would shape not only how others saw her, but also how she saw herself. She was proud of her progress and excited for what lay ahead. A chance not just to confront the bullies, but also to show them that they had underestimated her all along. The girl who once felt small was now on a path toward empowerment and self-discovery. The day had finally arrived for Mia to confront the bullies who had once made her feel so small. She woke up that morning with a mix of excitement and nerves swirling inside her. After weeks of training and preparing, she felt ready to face them, but the thought still sent butterflies fluttering in her stomach. As she walked to school, Mia practiced what she would say. "I won't let you push me around anymore," she whispered under her breath, imagining the look on their faces when they saw how strong she had become. With each step, she felt more empowered, her heart pounding with determination rather than fear. When she arrived at school, the air buzzed with laughter and chatter during recess. Mia took a moment to gather herself by taking deep breaths, recalling all the lessons from Ms. Johnson and Coach Ramirez about believing in herself. As she looked out onto the playground, she spotted the boys who had bullied her, the same ones who had laughed as they pushed her down that day. Her heart raced as she approached them, feeling a wave of adrenaline course through her veins. They were playing soccer, tossing the ball back and forth carelessly, unaware that today would be different. Today, they would see a side of Mia they had never encountered before, a confident girl who refused to be a victim any longer. "Hey!" Mia called out, surprising even herself with the strength in her voice. The boys turned around, their laughter fading as they recognized her standing tall and unyielding before them. "What do you want, loser?" One of them sneered, trying to brush off the moment as if it were just another joke. Mia squared her shoulders and took a step forward. "I'm not here to be your target anymore," she said firmly. "You pushed me down when I was vulnerable, but I've trained hard and learned how to stand up for myself." The shocked expressions on their faces fueled her confidence even more. She continued speaking passionately about how hurtful their actions were and how it was time for them to stop bullying others. Instead of cowering or backing down like before, Mia spoke with conviction and honesty. As she finished speaking, an unexpected silence filled the air around them. Mia realized that this was not just about confronting them. It was about reclaiming her power and showing that kindness could triumph over cruelty. In that pivotal moment on the playground, surrounded by classmates who watched in awe, Mia felt lighter than ever before. She hadn't just confronted her bullies. She had stepped into a new chapter of her life, one where she embraced courage instead of fear, and it felt amazing. The playground was buzzing with energy as Mia stood firmly in front of the boys who had bullied her. The sun shone brightly, but it felt like a spotlight on her, illuminating this pivotal moment. Her heart raced, but it wasn't from fear. It was filled with a fierce determination that propelled her forward. "Listen up," Mia called out, her voice steady and resolute. The boys paused their playful banter, turning to see what she had to say. They exchanged confused glances, expecting the usual timid response they were used to seeing from her. But today was different. Today she was ready to assert herself. "I'm not afraid of you anymore," Mia declared boldly, surprising even herself with how strong her words sounded. "You think it's funny to make fun of others and push them around, but all you're doing is showing how weak you really are." As she spoke, she noticed the other students gathering nearby. Curiosity etched on their faces. This was more than just a confrontation. It was a moment that would define her. One of the boys smirked, trying to maintain his bravado. "What are you going to do about it? You're just a loser," he taunted, but Mia could see the uncertainty flickering in his eyes. "I've trained hard to stand up for myself," Mia replied, recalling her self-defense lessons and the strength she had built. "And I'm not going to let you or anyone else dictate who I am anymore." With each word, she felt the respect of her classmates growing around her. They were witnessing something powerful, a young girl refusing to back down. Mia continued speaking passionately about the importance of kindness and respect, urging them to think about their actions and how they affected others. As she finished speaking, there was a moment of silence where even the boys seemed taken aback by her courage. Mia could feel a wave of support from those watching. Friends and classmates nodded in agreement, their expressions shifting from indifference to admiration. The bully who had taunted her earlier looked uncertain now. Instead of pushing back or laughing as he might have done before, he shifted uncomfortably under Mia's unwavering gaze. In that instant, Mia realized she had earned their respect, not just from her peers, but also from the bullies themselves. With her heart swelling with pride and relief, Mia knew that she had not only confronted her bullies, but had also emerged victorious. She had transformed a painful past into a powerful present, embracing who she truly was, a brave girl ready to stand tall against any challenge life threw her way. As the bell rang for the end of recess, Mia walked away feeling lighter and more empowered than ever before, surrounded by friends who valued her strength and courage. As the school day came to an end, Mia walked home with a sense of lightness and purpose in her heart. The vibrant colors of the setting sun filled the sky, mirroring the joy and newfound strength she felt within. This day had become a turning point, one that she would always remember as a moment of resilience. In her mind, Mia replayed the events from recess. She had faced her fears head-on and found her voice when it mattered most. The way her classmates had responded with applause and support reminded her that she was not alone in this journey. That confrontation had shown her that kindness could pierce through cruelty, but more importantly, it taught her that true strength comes from within. Reflecting on all she had learned throughout this experience, Mia understood the power of resilience. She realized that while others might try to bring her down with hurtful words or actions, it was up to her to decide how she would respond. No one else could dictate her worth or define her story. With each challenge, she had grown stronger, proving to herself that she could rise, no matter how many times she was pushed down. Mia thought about the lessons she had learned in self-defense class, not just about physical techniques, but also about self-confidence and self-respect. She now knew that preparation and determination could help overcome obstacles, both big and small. Each practice session had instilled a sense of empowerment that would stay with her long after the class ended. As she entered her home and greeted her mother, Mia felt eager to share what she had accomplished that day. Her mother listened intently, pride evident in her eyes. "I knew you had it in you, Mia," she said, warmly, hugging her tightly. "Standing up for yourself is one of the bravest things you can do." Mia felt a surge of gratitude for the support she had received from loved ones and mentors throughout this journey. She understood that standing up against bullying wasn't just about one moment. It was about advocating for herself and others every day. With each step forward, Mia felt empowered to not only embrace her own story, but also to help others who might be facing similar challenges. She had emerged from the shadows of doubt and fear into the bright light of hope and courage. The lessons learned would inspire her to continue growing, resilient and unbreakable, ready to shine brightly in a world that needed more voices like hers. In the days following her bold confrontation, Mia noticed a remarkable change, not just within herself, but in others around her as well. Her classmates began to draw strength from her experience, using her story as inspiration to assert their own voices against bullying. The playground that once echoed with laughter at the expense of others transformed into a space filled with camaraderie, where students looked out for one another and celebrated each other's uniqueness. Mia became a role model for many, even those she had never realized were silently struggling. Some friends approached her, sharing their experiences and thanking her for her bravery. They admired how she had stood up not only for herself, but also for others who felt vulnerable. It warmed Mia's heart to see her peers finding courage in her actions, and she felt a sense of fulfillment knowing that she was making a difference. Each day, Mia embraced her newfound confidence with pride. She actively spoke out against bullying during class discussions and encouraged classmates to voice their concerns and support one another. Ms. Johnson praised Mia's leadership, recognizing the positive shift in the classroom atmosphere. With an eagerness born from her own experience, Mia led activities focused on kindness, empathy, and building bridges rather than walls. Even at home, Mia shared her journey with her family during dinner conversations, reinforcing the idea that it was okay to seek help when faced with challenges. Her mother watched with pride as Mia encouraged family members to find their own strengths in difficult situations. The mutual support within the family grew stronger as they learned from one another. Mia's growth was not just a personal victory. It symbolized a powerful lesson on resilience and courage for everyone who witnessed it. She understood that standing up against bullying was about more than just one moment. It was about creating an ongoing culture of respect and kindness. Now, every time Mia walked through the school doors or stepped onto the playground, she carried a sense of purpose with her. She recognized that she could be the change maker, the voice for those who still struggled to stand up for themselves. Through every challenge she faced, Mia continued to inspire others to embrace their courage and push back against negativity, teaching them to rise together instead of falling apart. This newfound strength laid the foundation for a hopeful future, one where more voices joined in harmony against bullying, ensuring that everyone felt valued and accepted. Mia had transformed from a girl once brought down by cruelty into a beacon of resilience and empowerment, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead with unwavering determination.